In the book of Esther, Queen Esther finds herself through a series of disobedience. She finds herself at the wrong place, but at the right time. She finds herself in a season where there has been a proposed genocide on her people. And at the request of her cousin, Mordecai, she has been asked to go before her husband, the king, and ask for mercy on her people. But two things were at play here. One, her husband didn't know that she was a Jew. She had been asked and told to withhold this information from her husband, one. And two, to go before the king without an invitation could cost her her life. So in this moment, you see where God's sovereignty meets her humanity. God's sovereignty had placed her in this position of power at the right time, but she had a choice. She could have chose not to go before the king and save herself, or she could choose to risk it all for her people. And she chose the right thing. She went before the king, and we all know the end result of that. But what God was showing me through this passage is that He has a sovereign plan for every one of our lives. And that throughout our life, we're going to see where His sovereignty, His sovereign plan, butts up and intersects with our humanity. And we have free will. And through that, we have choices. And some of our choices will not line up with His perfect plan for us and will cause us to detour away from it. But just like with Esther, in our times of detour away, God is so good that His hand is still upon us. He's still working and weaving through our life to get us back on track. So even in our times of disobedience, I'm so thankful that I have a God that loves me enough to stay the course with me and guide me back into alignment with His perfect plan.